Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome, Ancient Magus Bride. Episode 2. It seems I am a week behind. Weird, I thought I'm caught up, but apparently not. Well, hopefully I'll be able to catch up, but we'll see. Probably, maybe, hopefully. Regardless, episode 2. Not much has happened yet. We are only setting the stage so far. Magic school, Chise was sent there and wanted to go there as well to learn more about herself, her powers, but also more about the world as a whole. She's been very sheltered this whole time. It was pretty much only Elias, Silky, the priest, Angelina or Angelica, whatever her name was, and the blonde girl. And that was pretty much all the people Chise interacted with on a bit of a more often bigger basis, because sure, she was on a good morning basis with the neighbors, but not much more. And, well, I'm not counting neighbors as in the fairies, because she's been interacting with those quite a bit as well. But not much human contact, not much being a part of human civilization, of human culture, rather. So, being here at a magic academy, but an academy nonetheless, will be only beneficial to her. And if they can find a way to remove Chise's curse somehow, curses, because there are like two of them, the curse of the dragon that kills her, and the curse of immortality that keeps her immortal. So if that can be solved, that's... Well, I personally would not give up a curse of immortality, but if Chise wants that, she should be able to choose for herself, of course. What else? Elias will be a teacher at this academy, so that's going to be interesting. I want to see students' reaction to him, to his magic, and I also want to see his methods of teaching magic, because so far he only had a singular pupil, and now he will have to teach an entire classroom. So those interactions will be interesting for sure. And of course, some new people, Chise's roommate, that's gonna be interesting. A good and proper human that Chise will spend a lot of time with. And that pale-looking, albino-looking girl. I thought she might be a Yuki Onna, maybe. Who's to say, honestly? We'll see about that as well. And it seems like it will be the main trio of this season. Chise, roommate, and Yuki Onna going on adventures, right? Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Or Ako, Susie, and Lotte, right? It's always trios. I don't know why, but it's always trios. Right, anything else? We met a couple of new characters. The plant principal, the bug grub, not centipede, bug looking nurse, and in the opening and the ending there is a slew of other characters that we will probably meet with time. And yeah, that about sums it up. Episode 1 ended with Chise finding the Yuki Onna girl fainting, falling down, and Chise ran to her rescue, of course, and I have reasons to suspect that the blonde girl, the white-haired rather girl, was the person who was stalking Chise a little bit before, the person who was in the infirmary. So I wonder, why was she there? Who is she? And what's her deal? Sorry. In general. Right. I don't expect particularly much from today's episode. I feel like we might still be setting the stage a little bit. We might get a little bit more into getting to know the characters, and maybe by the end of the episode, we will see some inkling, some little bit of a spark of the overarching plot of the season. I still have no clue what the overarching plot might be. Cartaphilus is dealt with, Dragon has been dealt with. The dragon arm, for the most part, it's inert. Ashen Eye is probably the only actual real danger, assuming he actually feels like causing some danger, because he might as well just decide that he wants to watch snowflakes in Nepal, because that's just what he wants to do. Ashen Eye does as he wants, and that's his entire character. Okay, I think that should do it for the intro. So, how about we watch this episode 2 of Ancient Magus Bride, Season 2, worth noting. Of course, you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm going to also have to ask you for your support. Support me monetarily on Patreon, for example, link in the description below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 2 of season 2 of Ancient Magus Bride in 3, 2, 1, go. My tea is still too hot, so I have to help myself with some strawberry milk. The only cold drink I found. Elias? Is that Elias? I really enjoyed this opening. The first opening of the first season was also great. But this one is also cool. It has that sense of wonder to it, right? First opening of the first season was kind of depressing, a little bit, but it had its moments, right? The whole "datta story yo," or whatever. The beginning was memorable. Yep, still too hot. I wonder if the plot of this season is going to be Monster of the Week kind of deal. And there goes my milk. I really like this bridge. Chise kinda is a doctor, isn't she? An herbalist. Yeah, Chise does have some superpowers. Princess Carrie, no hesitation. I can see people shipping it. I ship it. Yeah, she entered the apothecary mode. Yep. Okay, so just social phobia. Linden, okay. Chamomile, linden, sure. Whatchamacallit in English. Is the plant also called Melissa in English? Or is it just a name? But yeah, I know of a few plants that work well for calming the nerves. Yep, fair compensation. Be my friend. I'm new here, I need a friend. Sure, I guess that also works. You're a beta tester. Philomela. That's a nice name. And who might you be? A Josama looking ass. I'm guessing Veronica is the local queen bee. Oh, she cut the hair. Contract. Oh, she contracted Will of the Wisp. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, having a contracted will-o-wisp, that's something, all right. Sure. And also, in the grand scheme of things, fairies are basically eternal. So, what does it mean if he, it doesn't matter that he gets contracted to a human for like what, 50 more years? It's a blink of an eye. Yeah. I'm glad to see Alice happy. Are you going to enter? No. You're going to let your past consume you. I'm glad you're here, Alice. I'm very glad you're here. Chise probably shouldn't be punching people. She can just rip someone's head off with a slap, probably. Oh, that's an interesting shot. I gotta question why, but an interesting shot for sure. Oh, hello, Philomela. Is Chise going to sit by her? Probably. Chise, come on. No, Chise. Okay, so he straight admitted he's a narcissist. Yeah, something different from magic. I wonder how will Chise fare in sorcery classes, since she's a mage and not a sorcerer or sorceress. Probably. It's probably all of the above, honestly. So, Symphogear's alchemy, essentially. Red-headed twins, ain't that rare? That's an interesting visual. It's a very interesting visual. Science. Yep. That's scientific method. Okay. So sorcery is a science. Applause? No, no applause. I studied Latin for a little while. I mean, she might as well give it a shot, though, right? I don't know what to think of Veronica. She seems pleasant so far, but there has to be a reason why she was so afraid of her. And what's wrong with you? Did a mage kill your parents or something? Probably something like that. Some PTSD about mages. Hello, Alice. Okay, where's Chise? Fuck are you doing here? Okay. Elias classes. I think it's Elias. Oh, it is Elias. Yeah, they don't have to. Yeah, fucking eyelashes. It's moments like this I wish I had some magic. Ask an Ariel to take that fucking lash out of my eye. Yeah, that's essentially the gist of it. If the spirits don't like you, you can do fuck all. An old sight, isn't it? Who do you have in here? Oh, a salamander. And some ifrits, and flying bandage. Ifrit to fire it, to light it, and Ariel to blow it out. Different kinds of issues. Oh, right. That's what you get. Nissan, okay. Interesting that she calls the Will-O-Wisp Nissan. Okay, that's a bit much in it. I guess the Will-O-Wisp wanted to show off. Yeah. The Will-O-Wisp is a good old joker. And Chise is just going to fucking explode the classroom. Or not. She has a fair bit of control over her magic, so... Yeah, this one's pink. That's a long-ass incantation to just light a candle, isn't it? Perfect control. And now... Oh, I thought she's now going to use Ariel to blow it out. Or a Selkie. True. Straight up into compliments. Rusty? What does she mean by that? No, not really. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna lose your eyebrows right now. Or maybe more than that. Oh, hello, Elias. Showing your true form. Okay, still alive. Yep. And why spirits are a fickle thing. Oh? Okay, straight to the point. If you don't think you can do it, you're out. The fuck is a Murian? Oh. I guess she really likes Elias. He didn't really follow Osha, did he? You could probably use some protective barriers in classrooms or stuff like that. Or just sprinklers. Yeah, he's your classmate. What you want? Rian? Hello, Rian. Perfect unison. He's an automaton. Or maybe not. Chise feels at ease because maybe he's some sort of a spirit. Ifrit said that he smells rusty, so maybe he's, an automaton of some sort. Just kind of spitballing here. And where are we right now? Some illegal laboratory, I'm assuming. Human experimentation? Fairy experimentation? I guess we'll learn about that in the next episode. Or perhaps not, perhaps even later. Okay. This season is in for a slow burn, it seems. Which is kinda odd because it's only 12 episodes, isn't it? First season was 24, so it could allow itself to be a slow burn. This one is 12, so... I guess depends on what exactly they want to cover. Because season 1 was essentially like two distinct arcs, right? The introductory arc, that was 10-ish episodes, and then the Cartaphilus arc, that was the rest of the season. And since we are past the point of introduction, since Cartaphilus' issue was solved, we might cover a singular arc in the season. I don't know if I should be watching those previews or not. They haven't really been spoiling much. Besides, I guess Cartaphilus will return, and I also saw Rahab. Yeah, I think it was Rahab. I think her name was Rahab. Or was it Rahab? Or was it someone else? I don't know. Been a while since I've seen Rahab. Regardless, it won't be a while until we watch this episode again. How's that for a segue? Yeah, that's Elias. That's kind of obvious because of the blank stare and the bolo tie. And also hair is very similar to his human form from season 1. So that kind of tipped me off. And the hair are kind of sort of shaped like horns a little bit. OP. I wonder what's their deal. I wonder. My first instinct is that Victoria is her name, the Ojo-sama. She's some sort of a queen bee archetype, perhaps a bully to her, whose name I've forgotten. That's my first thought. But on a second glance, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. She seems perfectly amicable, however you say it. Amicable, I think is the word. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, English is not my first language. It's not my primary language either. But yeah, my first thought, she's a bully of some sort. But then, kind of makes me think, there was a story I read, can't remember what. It might have been a My Little Pony fanfiction, to be perfectly honest with you. Or some other fanfiction. I can't remember the details, but I remember this sort of a dynamic where one person is trying to help the other by like genuinely being nice and genuinely trying to help and whatnot, but the other person thinks that's because of malice, right? They don't want to genuinely help me, they just want to taunt me. They aren't actually nice to me, they're just scheming something. Kind of a paranoia situation. I wonder if that's what it is. That she is paranoid about Veronica? What's her face? I don't know, the blonde girl. I wonder if that's it. I also wonder why those twins are with Veronica. Here's another set of twins. And a couple of kind of whatever characters, secondary characters mostly. The roommate, yeah, that's Rahab. Oh, okay. First, no. Okay, I thought we started the episode, but no, it's still the opening. And now we are starting the episode. Birds of a feather flock together. I guess everybody in this class is a misfit? Probably. I mean, that's usually how it is in anime, but not only, in pretty much every piece of media that has a fairly limited group of main characters. Everybody in that group is a misfit. I'm saying a fairly limited group because sometimes you have classrooms and classes that are like groups that are like 20-something people and not everybody can be a main character. In that case, there usually is like 3, 4, 5 main-ish characters. Usually like one main character, 2 of his closest main-ish characters, and around 3 to 5 secondary characters taken out of that group of 20-something people. But when a class or a group is 10-ish, 12-ish characters big, everybody is probably a misfit, everybody is a secondary character, and birds of a feather flock together, as the title says. Straight into Princess Carrie. I ship it. Fuck it, why not? I ship it, absolutely. I know that Chise has Elias, but Elias will understand. Elias doesn't even understand what the fuck a bride is, so... I ship it. Why not? Ships have been born of less. Honestly, ships have been born of less. What was that ship? I think it was Lyra and Bonbon from My Little Pony. People started shipping them because they stood next to each other. Literally. 2 ponies that were stood next to each other in like a couple of scenes, and people already started shipping them. And it ended with an official episode having their wedding. So ships have been born of less, and now we have blushing, covering mouth, Princess Carrie. I mean, shit. And of course, Chise enters apothecary mode. Is there anything that can help with social anxiety? German chamomile, linden, and a dash of various other teas. Let me look up real quick translations to the things that I know help for nerves. Translate Google PL. No, what? What? Translate Google.com. That will be lemon balm or Melissa. That's apparently an actual name that's used. And St. John's wort. Yeah, those are the 2 herbs that I'm familiar with that can help your nerves. And also, fuck, again, sorry I need to use the Google Translate so much, but also hops. And what was that other thing? Yeah, I don't remember that other thing. But yeah, St. John's wort and lemon balm, was it called? Something like that. But now I also know, hey, German chamomile and linden apparently are also helpful. Lavender is great for aromatherapy. Actually a great recipe for better sleep, tried and tested. You take a pillow cover, you stuff it with lavender, with dry cut grass, and with some other aromatics, but mostly lavender is what matters. You tie it on one end, you put it into another pillowcase the other way, so that the endings and openings are like against each other, so nothing spills out. You close it, zip it up, or tie it, or whatever. You sleep on it. Highly recommend. It actually works. I have like a whole lot of lavender. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this one. This one. It's full of lavender. It's dried out and doesn't smell anymore. But when we get some fresh lavender in the garden, you can be damn sure this thing is gonna be full of it. And yeah, payment, of course. Lafanpan told me that you need to expect payment. Could you give me some feedback? That's a small price to pay. And she's panicked. Veronica seems perfectly pleasant. And yet she uses Miss Veronica, not just Veronica, and thinks she needs to explain herself to her. I wonder if it might be... She might be a servant. Veronica's servant. Right? Veronica being a high-born, noble lady, and her... I don't remember her name again. And her being being Veronica's attendant. I wonder if that's what's going on. Cut the hair in exchange for Will-o'-the-Wisp. She has a strong scent of fire. And a nice looking coal, very smooth, very shiny, almost like a diamond. I just like hanging out with this kid, and I'm just keeping an eye on her in exchange for the good times. Of course. This is actually an interesting thing. The Isekai series with the guy who can order food from an Amazon-ish interface, and that's his superpower. Isekai cooking, Isekai something... Fuck if I remember the name, there's so many Isekais. It aired the previous season, and I'm up to date with the manga. There was a very similar thing there, where the wolf decided to join our main character and decided to become a familiar because he lives like thousands of years, if not forever. Then what's the problem signing up to be a familiar for like 40, 50 more years in exchange for getting some cool food, some good food, and some adventure and stuff like that? Why not? It's a blink of an eye, might as well. Right? Like, if I were to live for 1,000 of years, I would see absolutely no problem soldiering through like 20 years of hard work 24/7 and then just, live my life. So it's a very interesting topic when it comes to characters and species with vastly different lifetimes. I like this little skip and hop that she's doing here. This, not skip and hop, but this walk and weave, I guess. Oh, no, there is a bit of hop to it. Cricket, rugby, horse riding, tennis. Okay. I like it too. And now Chise enters depresso mode, of course. I'm really glad Alice is here. She will be of great help to Chise, to be one familiar face, to be a person who went through all sorts of bullshit with Chise, who knows all sorts of stuff, who knows about Cartaphilus, who knows about all that kind of drama. It really will help Chise. Alice is the extrovert who decided to adopt Chise, being an introvert. I'm glad she's here, genuinely. This is an interesting shot. It shows the environment being CG. Although the one thing that tipped me off towards this environment being CG is the camera work, actually. That you don't draw this sort of camera work. When the camera is doing those things, the environment has to be CG. At any static moment, you wouldn't really be able to tell that it is CG, right? I said I said that it's interesting shot because it doesn't seem to serve a purpose. Or rather, the purpose it serves seems kind of very bland. Usually when you use shots like those, it's something very important, very interesting, very big, right? There is a treasure that our heroes have been searching for all this time in the middle of a cave, so you do this big swooping panning shot around that treasure chest and you slowly zoom in on our heroes slowly lifting the lid, right? That's where you use it. You use it when there's some scary moment or dramatic moment. You want to narrow the field of vision, the field of view to just the character so that they are looking frantically left and right. Where's the danger? When you see something very important, something very I don't know, our character has been striving all this time to be accepted into the higher society, and now they walk into the ballroom, and there's that big, swooping, complex shot of the CG ballroom, you know, a flyby and whatnot. That's when you use those big, swooping, moving shots of CG environments. This is just an empty classroom. Like, sure, the significance of it to Chise is kinda sorta apparent. It's kinda a beginning of a new chapter of her life, but it's not visually important enough to warrant this kind of a shot. I guess you could say. It's just the floor, the wall, the ceiling, and not really much. So the pathos that this camera work would suggest kind of isn't there. It's kind of a mismatch. Our brand new classmates, and here is her, whose name I forgot, of course. Beginning of another year at the college. You may have seen me about if you're a returning student. Interesting. You may have seen me about if you're a returning student. And also it seems like those two, yeah, those blonde twins seem to be younger than the rest. So I wonder if the classes are actually divided by level and not by age. Right? Like if you're 10 and you're good, you go and you show some promise, you can already go to the first class of, I don't know, middle school. And if you're 14 and have the same amount of knowledge and aptitude, you also go to the first class of their middle school or something like that. I don't know, but it's interesting. And interesting that he says returning students. I thought this is first years. Why would a first year be returning? Unless they've been held up? Or maybe there is a lower school operating at the academy as well. There's like a middle school, there is preschool, there is primary school and college and all of that. I really was hoping that Chise is going to sit next to her friend. Apparently not, though. Narcisse Mogam. And I need to look up the name of this character because it's not going to leave my head. Helsing doesn't have to be ultimate, but whatever. Helsing. Give me characters in Helsing. Come on, load, please. Integra. Integra Fairbrook Wingate's Helsing. He just looks like Integra if she was blonde. Okay, now it's cool. I remember, I now know the name, I spoke the name out loud. Phew. Narcisse Mogham. Professor or narcissist? to practice sorcery is to gain knowledge, to master sorcery is to master a breadth of knowledge. Our ancient ancestors gazed at the stars, read the winds, traveled the world. Some say sorcery is born of magic. Others say it was born from the songs. Yet other that it came along metallurgy, medicine, and alchemy, created by those who harbor doubts about magic. It's probably all of those. Honestly. Magic seems to be something natural that doesn't need to be studied, right? Because you ask an Ifrit to throw a fireball and the Ifrit throws a fireball. You don't need to study some magic circles and the flow of mana and shit like that. Meanwhile, sorcery takes a bit from here, a bit from there. Does it come from songs? Probably. Rhythm and song and repeating words and repeated rhythmic movement and all of that has been very important to human civilization. Dancing and singing and music and making sounds. Add to that a little bit of herbalism, and by that I mean some hallucinogenics, and you suddenly create religion because you witnessed a god. And that's how humanity develops. So, of course, a part of magic is there. Of course, a part of metallurgy is there. Properties of various metals, silver, words of evil, and all of that. Of course, alchemy is a part of it. Of course, all those things are a part of it. You seek that magic, that power in your surrounding world. Meanwhile, magic is inherent, while sorcery needs to be sought out. That's my view of it, at least. Everything in this world interacts closely indeed. You must work to heighten all of your senses. This is a very interesting visual. I did not expect some body horror in this series. Rotating eyeballs, screaming mouth, beating heart, held in hand. Yeah, this is something, alright. The dancing of flames on oars, the flow of water, the formations of the earth, everything. The world. The world is sorcery, and sorcery is the world. And scientific method. Observe everything, note it down, test it, experience failure, try again. Be agile, be bold, be tenacious. Indeed, err, fail, question often. That's science. Only those who do not fear failure can arrive at the paradise that is knowledge. Alas, first class is Latin. And already called out Chise. Mage and visiting student, you will not be required to practice sorcery. And the reactions. The blonde chubby girl is friendly and smiling. This guy, the green hair guy, is nervous, sweating bullets. Joe is an enigma. Of course. Veronica? Veronica. So I remember that right. Nice to meet you. Yeah, what's his deal? I wanna know. Why the eye twitch? Why the sweat? Why do his eyes look like they have slits for pupils? Is he a cat boy or something? Chise is out, just standing in a corridor, sleeping, standing or something? I don't know. Lesson on magic. And of course, rumors are starting about everybody. AC here to keep an eye on Alice. I wonder. Maybe. And yeah, good question. Good question. Why is she here? Magic is said to require more aptitude than sorcery does. Probably. As he says, right? Most of that aptitude comes from your compatibility with them. Can you negotiate, finding a familiar, and whatnot? It makes sense. Sorcery is something that can be learned. Magic is something that's inherent. If the neighbors hate you, you're not gonna do any magic. If the neighbors love you, you're gonna do all kinds of magic. Simple. It's something you're born with. I wonder how much of it is nature versus nurture. Can you, I don't know, go to therapy to become a better person so that neighbors like you more? Or is it just you were born with smelly blood and the neighbors don't like you? Or, something like that. Mages take magic power from their surroundings, meanwhile sorcerers create magic within themselves. What's important is to try to understand them and their rules. Yep, because it's the same world. They live in the same world. They interact with it in different ways, but it is the same world. Sorcerers can't exactly avoid having to deal with fairies, so might as well learn how to deal with them, right? And he's very bewildered, scared. Yeah, I wonder what's his deal. He doesn't like magic, that much is sure. Then there's this guy who's also an enigma. Exercise caution, yep. Lighting a candle. And of course, rumors. I heard a fairy became a sorcerer's familiar. What's this hentai protagonist doing here? I heard she can't even get a bird to fly well. I wonder what food she tried to train it with. Yep. And of course, emotions manifest in magic. You're pissed, your magic's gonna be pissed. Simple as. Even more true if your familiar is a joker and likes to play pranks and likes to do things like that. Yeah, he's enjoying it. Of course, Chise is going to fare better because she is beloved by spirits. Simple as that. Her aptitude is maximum. But if they refuse, you will give up. That's important. That's very important. Hello, beautiful person, he said in a monotone tone. In a monotone voice. Thank you, handsome boy. She has horns, I just noticed. You smell rusty. And that led to despair. And he doesn't try to fight it, doesn't try to negotiate. He's just like, oh, she knows I smell rusty. Well, fuck. I'm just gonna walk away. What does she mean by you smell rusty? I have no clue. Is he an artificer? Like Angelica? And the smell of metals he deals with permeated him? Does he have metal limbs? Replacement arm like Angelica, or a leg or something, and the Ifrit doesn't like that? Is he an automaton? That's why he's so emotionless? I don't know. Rusty smell is also the smell of blood. Does he have blood on his hands? I have no clue. So many questions. He shows promise. He doesn't. Very much doesn't. You're just a lizard, aren't you? Well, I'm gonna show you a fucking lizard, you brat. Correction time. And Elias, of course, broke the illusion. I'm glad the salamander is still alive. It was no fault of hers. I've been putting on that appearance to avoid trouble. I wonder what trouble? Rumors? It's not like Elias worries about rumors, so why exactly? Now you understand why it's important. Indeed. See what happens. Raise your hands if you believe you have aptitude. 3 people. We have no clue who it is because everybody wears the same clothes and everybody has the same hands. Probably Veronica would be my bet. Probably the bowl cut guy. And my bet would be one of the redhead twins, the one who is beloved by spirits to some degree. Alternatively, could be Chise's fainting friend. Murian. Like Miss Alexandra. Alexandra is the nurse, I think. Is Murian an actual thing? I wonder. Murian. It's a leader of the Wing clan of Gloucester in Type Moon. Sure. But also on Wiktionary from Cornish Murion, cognate with Breton Merian and Welsh Mirion. An ant. Okay, in Cornwall dialect, it's an ant. That doesn't make much sense for a name, does it? One of those people who was transfigured from experimenting too much. This is interesting. This is interesting. If you experiment too much, you slowly lose your humanity. You stop being human. You turn into probably whatever you were experimenting on. Interesting. And she likes daddy bones, apparently. He got dragged off. Something about lack of safety precautions. Yeah, but how can you even introduce safety precautions when you're working with the neighbors? They are, after all, unpredictable. You cannot predict what the neighbors will do. Will they be happy with you? Will they attack you? No clue. There are some rules to working with them, sure, but what if you summon an evil spirit that will try to capture you? It's possible. Elias, at the beginning of the first season, wanted to kidnap Chise. Not out of malice, but still. Cricket, rugby, news, horse club, track and field club. I wonder if Chise is going to join any of those clubs. Rian. I don't feel so tense around him for some reason. Yeah, I wonder what that reason might be. Because he doesn't show emotions and that reminds you of Elias? Because he's not human? Actually, might as well. Come on. Come on. There we go. Rian. It's not human. That's Gundam Mercury, and I would like... Why did I leave so much space here? I guess I missed a page or something. Okay, that's actually perfect. How should I... Ancient Magus Bride. Rian is not human. Either a fairy or perhaps some sort of an automaton or something in that ballpark-ish. As you're a mage, would you please teach me magic? I mean, you have magic classes, so... right? This is a laboratory, very secure. I wonder what they're keeping there. What kind of research they're doing. Okay, I'm not gonna look at the whatchamacallit. The teaser. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. This was a real cool scene. Elias warding off the fire. Actually, one more thing I wanted to note down. Veronica is genuinely pleasant. And what's her name? The white-haired girl. My animalist to the rescue. Her name is... Why is she not off on the first page? Why do I need to click? Her name is... Come on, where is she? Philomela. Philomela is just paranoid. I wonder if that's actually the case. Okay. That does it. While the previous episode was an introduction back to the world of Ancient Magus Bride, back to the characters that we are used to, this episode started getting us into the main story proper, so to speak. We now have our full cast more or less introduced. We now know what's going to be happening in this series, a lot of learning, and we also have that overarching sinister plot set up for us, that laboratory, because I do not believe that people wearing masks would do some legit ethical research behind doors closed so securely. There's no way in hell. So that's probably going to be an issue. I wonder what kind of an issue, though. That's an interesting thing, and we don't have really any leads to try to think of what kind of research they might be doing there. Anything else? Right, Philomela. She feels like a parallel to Chise, or rather parallel to how Chise has been. She's clearly traumatized by something, and she's clearly very closed, very shut in herself. I wonder if the relationship between Chise and Philomela will be a little bit reminiscent to that of Elias and Chise. Chise bringing Philomela out of her shell slowly but surely, giving her that boost in confidence, teaching her some magic, being her friend. I wonder if that's where we're going with that character. Probably. Chise essentially getting her own apprentice. The green-haired guy is also interesting. It seems to me like he has some trauma, some bad memories about magic, about fairies. I wonder what's his deal exactly, though. Is he just scared of them? Or was there some event in his past that led him to have that eye tick, when Chise introduced herself as being a mage? Or rather, as Chise was introduced as being a mage. Something with him and the mages had to have happened. I wonder what it was, though. Then we have the bowl cut dude, who I have no clue what his deal is. Very emotionless, very subdued, and apparently hated by the spirit because he smells rusty. No idea. And we have Veronica, who's also very much a closed book to me. She's a closed book because she's always smiling, she always seems very pleasant, she always seems very very nice and friendly and whatnot, but it somehow feels like a facade. I wonder if it's because of Philomela's reaction that kinda made me go into the mindset of something odd with Veronica, because Philomela is somewhat scared of her. I wonder if Veronica was introduced in Void without Philomela interacting with her. Would my feelings regarding her character be different? Possible. Possible. Any other notable characters? Not really. Nobody else had particularly much interaction with the main cast yet, so kind of hard to gauge out, eke out. No, not eke out. That's an incorrect term. Gauge out. I think that's how you say it. What's their deal? What kind of characters they are? But we will probably learn that throughout the course of the season. I wanted to check one more thing. Yeah, nothing changed. 12 episodes. I guess they can fit a singular arc into 12 episodes. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to fit anything on the scale of the first season for sure. But yeah, a singular arc seems perfectly plausible. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say about this episode, but maybe you guys do. And if you do, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. I know the manga is out, source material, so don't spoil it to me. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord is up here, also linked in the description. Join it. There is a channel for Ancient Magus Bride where you can discuss spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ancient Magus Bride, but also Symphogear XV, Gundam Witch from Mercury, Oyuki Umenokana movie, which we are waiting for, Benria Saito-san Isekai ni Iku, and others coming at you in the future. Click the bell icon as well somewhere down here if you want to be notified of when I go live, because I also stream sometimes, and support the channel if you want monetarily, for example on Patreon or Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon you can give me $10 a month and you will get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoka Magica and others, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of Patreons: QB, Bobbin, Without a Net, Fruit, Zay, Rainer, Akamancer, Marsh, Yuki Ally, Cure Dynamic, Fassel, and Dr. Walt and Hans Peter. And you can join their ranks, and you don't need to become a sorcerer to do that.